I am a different kind of coach. I thought I explained all of that. We are moving through a lot of changes in our world, and so you would be experiencing that in your lives as well. And I'm totally aware of that. And sometimes that gets really confusing. And it was confusing for me, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. When I first began coaching, a lot of people know me as a vocal coach. That's many of you might have come here because of that. And then years later, I started doing something different. I started doing empowerment coaching. I started doing all of that. But then there was also spiritual things that I did as well, which a lot of it I didn't talk about. It was something that I just did and kind of kept it to myself. But it's also what I knew was powering me, that was moving me forward, was that faith, was that belief, was that understanding. But it was still a little bit different, and I couldn't talk about it, which is exactly what I find with my clients. You have something within you that you know you're meant to do, but it doesn't feel real and you can't hang on to it. And most times what it is that you don't want to tell other people. That was me. I didn't want to talk about it because it doesn't seem that real. It doesn't seem like they were going to believe me. And we have fear of judgment. Now, what happens is we all come into the world with limitations, restrictions and limitations. We've adopted them. We've picked them up from our parents, from our families, whatever it is. We have them. And so unless we're willing to acknowledge them and move through them, we don't live the lives that we were meant to live. Because every person was born, as I've said, with this God-given ability to manifest whatever they want, to be happy, successful, and all of that. But we hold ourselves back. I did it for the longest time. However, I knew that there was something more, so I kept moving. I didn't always stay. I stayed stuck for a long time until I got fired in one job. That was the only way I would leave. That's what we do sometimes. We stay stuck places because we're too afraid to move. And I was doing that. And this was a job actually that was crazy because I was suffering physically doing this job because it was too stressful. It wasn't what I wanted to be doing. But because I was stuck to the money, I was worried about that. I stayed there and suffered for the longest time. I decided that I could no longer do that. And I don't want to see other people suffer through that as well, which is why I started doing all of my work. When I received the information about your life operating instructions, that seemed really odd to me. It seemed really crazy that I could have been given something that could be this impactful and make a difference in the world. But the fact was I was. And we have to come to that place where we can accept that. Otherwise, we don't change our lives and we don't change the world. And I'm saying this because you must understand that you are in the world now. You're just as important as every other person. But if you're not owning that importance, if you're not happy, if you're not doing what you wanted to do, you're not helping. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping the world. And that's what I was doing. I had to break through my resistance and my fear to be able to know, to offer what I had. And I will tell you one thing that happened today, and I'm so grateful someone sent me an email because I thought, is anyone hearing me? Are they paying attention? Because I do have vision. I have precognitive vision and awareness, as I've talked about before, which is why I was able to receive this. But I think sometimes it goes a little bit too far and people don't get it. However, I will tell you this a little bit because you're going to see it. It's happening in our world everywhere. You're seeing all the division and all the different fightings. You're going to take a stand, and you're supposed to, because you're supposed to choose who you are. That's why you're here. And all the conditions, everything that is happening is giving you the opportunity to start to embrace yourself. That's the only work that I do. And when I'm working with a client, I'm never telling you what to do. I can see very clearly, my intuitive sense can see your probable reality. I can see where would be good for you to go. I can see all of that. You doing it is a whole entirely new thing. See, because I was told several years ago that I needed to go in the direction that I'm going now, but it took me a while. I didn't move because it seemed, no, I can't do that. It seems too different. And I used to be this person. we're never supposed to stay the same person if we want to be happy, if we want to live the lives that we were given. And that's really what it is. So, if you are, I want to explain this because I know there are a lot of different coaches. My focus is getting the individual to understand why you're in the world, your value, your gifts, and get you to own them and do something where you can be prosperous, living a successful life. That's really what it is. And it doesn't matter what particular career or job you're doing. It has to feel to you that this is what you want, this is who you are, and that's how you become truly, truly successful in your life. And it's going to come up during this period a lot more. So just be aware of that. But if you want help, that's what my program does, or you can work with me privately. But just know that you're going to be moving through some changes because of what's happening in our world. We're all impacted by this, but we also have the opportunity to make it so much better. And all that is deciding that we're going to love ourselves and do what we came to do in the world and just be ourselves. That's it. All right. See you guys soon.